Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today we're going to be talking about the Pan in Every palette, Project Pan. When I asked you guys in the last update if you wanted to maintain the every month update or if you wanted to move to a monthly update, you guys voted and said monthly was the way to go, so here we are talking about it. Now, I did definitely kind of mash a couple of things together when looking at this project. This project was originally created, I'm almost positive, by the Pantastic Ladies, and the idea is to have at least one pan in every single palette that we own. And I've wanted to do that for a long time, but I always have so many things going on at once that it's been hard for me to want to commit to that. But since I'm not doing Pan Those Eyeshadows this year, it felt like a good opportunity to bring this in instead. Now, I did take inspiration from Caroline the Panner and Makeup with Laney. Makeup with Laney created a randomized spreadsheet to help her choose the eyeshadows that she wanted to work on in her Pan Those Eyeshadows project. And I thought that was so smart. So I took that idea, added some of my own, and this is the project that we have here. So everything I'm working on is somewhat randomized, but also I've had my own say in it as well. And I always want to be working on at least one face palette in this project because I'll be honest, those get so neglected in my life. So no more rambling. Let's talk about the update, which I'll be honest, this is my second time filming this update. I filmed it a few days ago and then I thought I was going to be like a responsible YouTuber and clear off my memory card so that it didn't, you know, stop me mid-sentence as it honestly regularly does. And I deleted the wrong file. So here we are filming for the second time. I do have my new favorite Starbucks coffee and I am ready to go. In case you are wondering, the caramel cinnamon cold brew is amazing. It's so good. Okay, for real, stop rambling. So I'm currently working on 4 palettes in this project. The first one that I'm working on is this one right here. This is from Sonia Kashuk, and the prompt that I had for this was orange. So I decided to pull in this amazing orange blush. Like, this is so stinking stunning, and yet I've hardly worn it. I mentioned this in the last update that the palette that I'm working on in my Level Up Project Pan is a very pinky purple leaning sort of palette, and so a bright orange blush just really hasn't been going with many of the looks that I have created, and that has continued to be true because I've only used it 2 times since our last update. Hopefully that will change in the near future, and if you saw my most recent haul video, I've been blush bananas. So having a bright orange blush is very exciting to me. I just need to start wearing eye looks that will complement that. So 2 additional uses since the last update, nowhere near pan. I am also working on this eyeshadow palette right here. This is from Colourpop. This is the Through My Eyes palette. It was done in collaboration with I Love Sarahi. The prompt for this one was discontinued. This is no longer available. And the shade that I chose from this palette is this one on the end right here called Sandalwood. Originally, when I had brought this in the palette, this looks so neutral. However, when actually applying it to my skin, it pulls really, really warm. And so I think you know where I'm going with this. It doesn't go with my palette in my Level Up Project Pan, so it hasn't gotten as much use. So this is what it looks like. It is very pretty. It just isn't being utilized as much because it's just harder to work it in. So I've actually used this an additional 6 times since our last update. It's Colourpop, we're nowhere near pan. Although I will say, I like that it's all roughed up and it's certainly looking used. And as with all of the projects that I'm working on where I pull in an eyeshadow, the palette I'm always gonna work towards no pan left behind. This one's been a little bit more challenging to do because the color story is just a little bit more all over the place, not in a bad way, but just in a way that I don't always know how to work with. So we still have some time left with her, and hopefully I'll be able to start moving into some warmer, more vibrant looks in the coming month or two. I am also working on a Natasha Denona color. Oh, I love Natasha Denona shadows. This is the Lila palette. I pulled it in for the prompt purple, and the shadow that I'm working on is this one right here called Amethyst. It is a very intense purple. I have only used it 2 times since our last update, and that's just kind of where we're at. So this is what it looks like. Really, really pretty. I just haven't been focusing on it. That's the real truth. I just haven't been focusing on it. So she's gonna be with us probably a long time more, since I have no idea how deep any of those pans are. The last item that I am working on is my ABH Sugar Glow kit. I pulled this in for the prompt sparkly. No, shimmery, I think, because sparkly and highlighters are not my favorite combination. But I've been working on the shade Starburst. And I think you'll be, oh, there it is. I do have a little bit of pan winking back at you. So this sweet baby is going to be rolling out. I've really enjoyed working on it. I did use it an additional 28 times since our last update for a total of 74 uses in this project, I believe. So very, very happy to have pan in this palette, and it will be rolling out. Again, I enjoyed this highlighter, but I'm also excited to move on to some different things in my collection because your girl is fickle and gets bored easily. So typically what that would mean is that at this moment I would pull out my Tiny Decisions app and we would roll for a new prompt. But as I said, I've already done that. I considered re-rolling and picking just something new, but I'll be honest, I'm really excited about what I chose before. So the prompt that I got when I did this originally was the letter B. So I was looking for a shade that started with the letter B. And the one that I settled on comes from my Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. And the shade, I am actually wearing it today. I figured it would be a great opportunity to get my first usage. But this right here is the shade Blaze. This one right here, this really pretty kind of deeper gold shimmer, and it's really, really beautiful. And I'm just really excited to have an excuse to play more with this palette. I absolutely love this palette, and while I have already used every single eyeshadow in it multiple times at this point, because of my panning journey, I haven't pulled it out in a little bit longer than I would like. So when I sat down to refilm this, the idea of no longer working with this palette made me sad, so I decided, you know, we're gonna stick with it. And I feel like for my level 2 palette, I think that this will be a good addition because this is my level 2 palette. This is the BH Cosmetics 1991 by Alicia Marie. And it's got all of these beautiful pinks and purples and these, but then you've got these brown tones right here. So I think Blaze will be a really good addition and they'll complement each other well. So I'm really excited to be pulling this in and working towards pan on it. So I know this was a super rambly update and I apologize for that. Maybe I've had a little too much of this coffee, but it's so good. If you have enjoyed this video, I hope that you will give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing before you leave. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day. And I will see you next time. Bye.